Welcome back, internet friends. There's been a ton of videos made recently called Leaving California or Why I'm Leaving California. This has become a very popular trend of making YouTube videos this year, and with good reason. There's a lot of things going on in California that if you don't live here, you may not know about, or you may have only heard on the news. So today, I want to tell you guys what is happening here in my home state and why so many people have decided to leave. Even before the health crisis that we're currently facing, in 2019, California's population saw a decrease of roughly 180,000 people, as nearly 653,000 people migrated out of California to other states. The reasons people were leaving, you've probably heard about already. There's a terrible homeless situation. Right behind my office here, there's an actual homeless lady that when I walk Buffy, if she sees me, she will start throwing rocks at us, start yelling obscenities. We are actually like in physical threat almost every time I go walk my dog at these railroad tracks right behind our office here. And I've been doing that for years without any kind of problems. But now there are 2 homeless villages on either side of our buildings. There's like a dozen people there. The amount of trash that these homeless people leave, it brings a tear to my eye having lived in this city my whole life. Seeing just so much trash accumulate on the sidewalks and the streets. I try to go pick up trash whenever I can, but the trash, because of the homelessness, has become overwhelming, and California is starting to look like a third world country. The homelessness brought trash, it also brought graffiti. Even in my county and my city, there is a human poop issue. The homeless people that live in this village, they have no porta potty over there. They have nowhere to go to the bathroom. In the middle of the night, a lot of them will come hide behind a bush, squat down, and you get the picture. It's pretty terrible. It creates like an aura, the most disgusting smell, and this aura can be 30, 40 feet. This year we've had a massive uptick in homeless people on our streets because our jails have been emptied because of the health crisis. These people come out of prison with little skills into an economy where everything is shut down and they have no help. They're bound to be left on the streets to survive and steal and fend for themselves. Now, the one thing you can do to save California is to smash the like button. We've had extremely high cost of living, right? Some of the highest rents in the nation. Our gas prices are way higher than Nevada's. Crooked politicians, homeless junkies, illegal immigration, gang violence, perpetual debt and taxes. With your powers combined, I am California. And that's it, end of video. Taxes and regulations are one of the reasons that the state is so expensive to live in. We keep adding on a nickel or a dime to a gas tax. Every single election or every 2 years, they add taxes to gas, they add taxes to your real estate, property taxes are ridiculous, and they keep trying to push new laws every election that will raise property taxes by insane amounts. So we have a real taxation problem here, and we've had one, but they're pushing for way more taxation, way more regulation. Of course, you may have heard from my other videos, we had the Assembly Bill 5, which, thank the Lord, everyone voted to overturn. With Prop 22, California voters actually overturned this socialist labor bill that had been passed early in the year that dictated gig workers and drivers could no longer be independent contractors. How about rats? We have had a ridiculous rat problem that I swear in my life did not exist in California until maybe the last 2 years. This year, my dad had like a pandemic of rats in his house. The entire neighborhood that he lives in was just rat overwhelming. He designed many different traps trying to kill rats, and he would end up catching 3 or 4 rats a night. If you consider the battle against man and rat, the rats are winning. The rat population in the summer here is just stupid high. Like, they've grown in numbers over the years, and now we have this rat epidemic. They are hurting our livelihoods in different ways. I personally have my own little prepper food stash I just organized, and I find multiple bags of prepped food that I had tucked away real well in plastic tubs. Somehow a rat got in there and just chewed holes in the bags of food, that food is ruined. My father was in the garage doing laundry, and he had set up those snap rat traps. Well, my father, one day, he's folding laundry, and he looks down at his feet, and there is a rat, huge rat, with the trap whoosh, stuck in its back, like it's chopped in half, but it's being pressed, and the rat is limping around at my dad's feet. My dad jumps to his feet like terrified, jumps in the air when he sees this zombie rat limping around at his feet. My dad leaped up and fell, and my dad broke his wrist. So the rats are causing us injury as well as getting into our food supply. They're getting into our homes. This is a reason you might want to leave California, especially if you live in LA. The problem is way worse than here in the suburbs. So I've noticed physically here in California, the trend of leaving is not just YouTube videos, it's real. Businesses, they look empty. There's a lot of abandoned businesses. With the health crisis that took place this year, we are seeing emptiness. I call it the nothing. If you remember Neverending Story, the nothing was this dark force that just took over places and it left them as nothing. And the nothing is taking over here. Every single errand I do throughout the day, I see destroyed business. There was a nail salon that was open 6 months ago. There is a whole furniture industry where people have like furniture stores, and it's like this whole part of Fountain Valley nearby. And that whole industry is destroyed. Like all these furniture places going out of business, their stores are empty. Everywhere you go, you see all these small businesses are dying because of the lockdown restrictions. And now we talk about what's really going on and ruining California, the current situation with the health crisis. This is a death nail in my beloved state. California has some of the most hateable politicians I have ever known in my life. We have our governor, Gavin Newsom, put signs all over towns saying that you get a fine if you don't wear a mask for $100. It's all over my town. You're not allowed to have Thanksgiving in a group. I have 4 little brothers who I love with all of my heart. According to his restrictions, all 4 of those kids wouldn't be allowed at a Thanksgiving dinner. Yet, this guy was just caught by Fox 11. My man Bill Melugin, we corresponded during my Wasteland video. He used some of my footage for a Fox News report about Wasteland. Bill Melugin broke the story on Fox 11 that Gavin Newsom was in a restaurant, fine dining, $300 a meal. And he's sitting at a table, no mask, and nobody's got a mask. Everyone's sitting right next to each other. Rules for thee, but not for me, is the very popular phrase that is being thrown about when you talk about California Democrat politicians. They make rules, they shut your business down, and yet this guy is going out. He says you can't have Thanksgiving, but he's having a 50th birthday party with his buddies, no mask. So the governor comes out, apologizes, and lies, trying to justify what he did. There are protests in Long Beach. Last night, there was protests because all the restaurants had to get shut down. And the lady in Los Angeles that voted to actually close down the city restaurants had the gall to go out to dinner herself that very night that she cast the vote saying goodbye restaurants. She went to this place called El Fornario and she claimed, I feel bad and I want to support them and give them some money. Well, if you want to support them, let them stay open. The very next day, San Francisco Mayor London Breed has her own party at the exact same restaurant. You can't make this stuff up. There's no outdoor dining anymore. People were eating their food to go at these tables. So the shopping center removed the chairs and hired a lady to spray all the tables clean. They also hired this security guard who just stands there on his phone. His job is just to tell people you can't sit anywhere. Welcome to Clown World. We have failing restaurants, and we have even fast food places are jumping ship. I've never in my life seen abandoned Del Tacos and abandoned Burger Kings everywhere. But even the fast food restaurants are trimming the fat. We have abandoned office buildings. We've got these apartment buildings that are 90% empty. So much overdevelopment went into California. They built all of these luxury apartments, and now they're not able to fill them. So we just have these fancy ridiculous apartment buildings where everyone's stacked real close together. It basically is like a hotel room. They want you to pay like $2,000 or $3,000 a month for these little apartments. They're empty. Nobody's gonna live there. People are leaving California. So there's this emptiness, this nothing. As I drive around doing my deliveries, I notice there's no one at the offices. There's nobody at these small businesses. There's nobody at the restaurants, even though they're trying to stay open. There's this nothing that has creeped all across my hometown. The schools, only the private Christian schools have children and children playing. Of course the governor's kids are at private school. They're not stuck at home. In regular public schools, my little brothers are not allowed to play. They only go to school like 1 or 2 days a week, and during their little 15-minute break, they have to stay far away in like squares and play Simon Says. They're not allowed to play tag, kickball, soccer, football. No, that's not allowed. Children, you can't play. Disneyland, which my friends work at Disneyland. One of them just posted this yesterday, very upset that she's gonna totally leave. She had to empty her locker. She'd been part of the Disney parade and their Christmas parade and different events for years. And now Disneyland has been shut down by our governor all year long. This theme park, which used to bring tens of thousands a day, who would stay in hotels, who would eat at the restaurants, all these people that used to come to California for tourism, they're not coming no more. With the destruction of the local economy that is taking place throughout this year, we have seen the rise of the underground economy. That's right, music festivals are canceled. This weekend, Closey, I don't know if you like that DJ, Closey, she was supposed to do a park and rave event, meaning everyone has to stay in their car and listen to the music from the radio and watch the stage from like a soccer field away. That event was canceled. The local concert we were supposed to have was canceled. But guess what? The underground is thriving. This weekend, there's an underground nightclub. You gotta pay 10 or 15 bucks to just get on a list. A few hours before the event starts, they're gonna email you the location. And those secret events are popping off. People are unable to do music festivals. They need to get out and release some energy. You can't be cooped up for an entire year without dancing and happiness in your life. So these people are going to the underground desert parties that happen in the middle of the Mojave Desert. People drive a rented truck with a stage and they build this entire gathering in the desert. And there's also the underground clubs in Los Angeles. This club I'm going to this weekend is opening half an hour after midnight and it's closed at like sunrise. So it's totally against the rules. They are just freedom. They're what I like to call old normal. And you may be like, oh my God, it's a super spreader. You're gonna get COVID surge. I had it this summer and I recovered in about 2 days. My family, my dad had it. We all recovered in like 2 days. So I'm not afraid. Okay, most people here, a lot of the young people, none of us are afraid. There's a small percentage of people who still are, and they are locking themselves down. Underground photo shoots, these things where people in Los Angeles, by 100 strong, will meet up in secret. They bring all their camera equipment, they bring smoke bombs, and models do an open photo shoot with just different photographers who show up. These are all underground. The police come at like midnight and kick us out, but even the police are not enforcing. All the county sheriffs have made a statement saying they won't shut down parties. They won't go enforce these crazy rules because they need to save their funds and their manpower for real emergencies. We're also seeing the rise of the rebellion bars or the speakeasy style bars in Huntington Beach, which is the conservative ground zero of my county. The bars have just said, screw it. A lot of them have started not doing limited capacity, no mask rules, not closing at 10 p.m., and you can still have a good time. We have such a loss in business. For example, all the trade shows, that's what my family worked in. All county fairs, trade shows, state fairs, rodeos, all that stuff in California canceled. All across the nation was canceled. But California won't have any of that anytime soon. My family drove 30 hours or something to Texas with trailers and large trucks just to sell their goods. A lot of famous people left. We know that Joe Rogan and a lot of the stand-up comedians in LA, they left. There's no comedy clubs in LA. Everything is closed, so why stay in that city? where you used to do comedy if there isn't comedy there anymore? Ben Shapiro, one of the biggest conservative names on radio, just moved from Los Angeles to Nashville. We've heard talks of Elon Musk moving from California. The migration is real, and it's hard to ignore why it's happening. I hope you enjoyed this video about California and what's going on. If you did, please go ahead and smash the like button. Feel free to leave a comment, tell me what you think. Go ahead and subscribe. I do make videos all the time. I'll see you next time. Good luck out there, especially if you're in California. And just have a great day.